Good afternoon, you're watching Q News, bringing you the latest regional and international developments. Here are the top stories making headlines this hour. China and France are calling for full respect of the Gaza ceasefire and scaled up UN-supervised aid deliveries across the Strip as they reaffirm support for a two-state solution. In a joint statement issued during French President Emmanuel Macron's visit to China, Beijing and Paris welcomed the ceasefire agreements between Israel and Hamas reached on October 9th. The two sides urged all parties to meet their commitments and avoid steps that could undermine implementation. China and France also stressed the need for large-scale humanitarian assistance under UN supervision, with prompt, safe, sustainable and unhindered aid throughout the Strip. They reaffirmed support for the two-state solution and called for continued material and financial backing for the Palestinian National Authority, while noting efforts by partners supporting Palestinian emergency needs. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has thanked China and President Xi Jinping and announced $100 million in aid for Palestinians from China, aimed at supporting Gaza recovery and reconstruction. In a statement, Abbas said the funding aims to help ease the humanitarian crisis and support an early recovery and reconstruction plan for Gaza. He said the pledge reflects strong ties between the two sides and what he described as China's commitment to justice and fairness. Abbas also thanked China for backing the Palestinian cause in international forums and said the Palestinian leadership is ready to continue working with Beijing toward a just and comprehensive peace based on international law while supporting regional stability. Israeli forces have deployed in the streets of Qalqilya in the northern occupied West Bank, as Israel says a new operation is underway. Footage shows Israeli forces deployed across the streets in the occupied West Bank city of Qalqilya. Residents describe what they called provocation and humiliation during the deployments, with one man saying he was beaten. Israel's army says it launched a new operation on November 26th, targeting Palestinian armed groups in the occupied West Bank, as tensions continue across several towns and cities. Spain's culture minister, Ernest Urtasun, says he fully supports RTVE's decision to boycott the Eurovision Song Contest 2026 after Israel was cleared to compete. Urtasun voiced full backing after Spain's public broadcaster said it will boycott the Eurovision Song Contest following the decision to allow Israel to take part. Ireland and the Netherlands have also announced boycotts, while other broadcasters say they are considering their positions. The moves deepen a widening dispute over participation linked to the war in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dismissed the corruption charges against him as idiotic, accusing prosecutors of trying to push him out of office. In a video posted on X, Netanyahu described the case against him as baseless and politically driven. He claimed prosecutors are pursuing the charges to remove him from power. Netanyahu has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing as the legal proceedings continue amid an already polarized political climate in Israel. India and Russia say they have agreed a long-term economic cooperation program to expand trade through 2030, alongside plans to reshape defense ties. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the agreement aims to expand and diversify trade between India and Russia, following summit talks with President Putin. In a joint statement, the two sides also said they will adjust defense cooperation to reflect India's push for greater self-reliance. India has resisted condemning Russia over the war in Ukraine and has called for peace through dialogue and diplomacy. New Delhi also says Western nations unfairly target its ties with Moscow while continuing their own dealings with Russia when it suits their interests. And that's our top stories for this hour. Stay with us for continuing coverage, analysis and breaking updates from across the region and around the world here on Q News.